All right, everyone's buzzing about the KOSPI hitting a historic 4,500, but you know what? That's not the real story. The real intel, the thing we're tracking, is the massive sector rotation happening just beneath the surface. We're talking about capital flowing out of chips and getting redeployed directly into mobility and infrastructure. And that's the primary signal for the US markets tonight.
Okay, phase one. Let's zero in on the primary target. We're looking at let's call it the paradoxical market action we just tracked in South Korea. So there it is. South Korea has officially entered the 4,500-point era. This is a huge psychological and technical milestone, right? A clean breakout to all-time highs. But that headline number, it's hiding the real intel. And this slide lays out the core conflict, the anomaly we're investigating. On the left, you see this powerful, undeniable rally. But on the right, the heat map confirms a massive foreign sell-off in the market's single biggest stock, Samsung Electronics. See the problem? So this is the central question, isn't it? This is the puzzle we have to solve today. How on earth does an index hit a record high when its heavyweight champion gets knocked down? The answer is going to tell us exactly where the smart money's heading next. Let's move to the intel phase. It's time to follow the money, to really understand the deep mechanics of what's driving this rally. This heat map basically visualizes the entire play. Look, this isn't chaos, it's a classic sector rotation. We are literally tracking capital as it exits the overheated semiconductor sector and gets redeployed with surgical precision into automotive and industrial infrastructure. Now, this is the crucial part to understand, the logic behind this whole rotation. Capital is shifting from what we call hardware overhang, the companies that make the chips, over to hardware application. Those are the companies that use the technology in cars, in power grids, in real-world infrastructure. And this is the source, these incredible advanced AI chips. This is where investors are now taking their profits off the table. Now, don't get me wrong, the technology is amazing, but the money is saying the biggest, fastest gains have been made right here, for now. So where's the money going? Well, this is a key destination. It's flowing into the application layer. Think next-generation mobility. Think software-defined vehicles. All the things that are going to consume that AI hardware. The other major destination for all this capital is the industrial backbone. The AI revolution quite literally runs on power and logistics. So we're seeing a massive surge of investment into the energy infrastructure and the export capacity needed to support this whole technological build-out. And here's the hard data that confirms the rotation. While Samsung was down, Hyundai Motor hit an all-time high, up 7%. Doosan Enerbility, which is a core AI power play, surged 10%. And get this, Hyundai AutoEver, a leader in software for vehicles, just exploded, up over 13%. This is a targeted rally, not a random one.
There's a name for this dynamic. It's called downside rigidity. Now, in a weak market, if your lead sector drops, the whole index just tanks. But here, other sectors were strong enough to absorb all that selling pressure and actually push the market to new highs. That V-shaped recovery we saw intraday, that confirms the strength and the quality of this rotation. It's the real deal.
So why does any of this matter to you? Because Korea is what we call a high beta market. It often previews global capital flows. The action we tracked today acts as a leading indicator for the U.S. session, and it's signaling a potential rotation out of mega-cap tech and into industrials and automotive stocks. So with that intel, let's move to the battle plan. Let's see how this all builds into a concrete strategy for the NASDAQ showdown tonight. All right, here's the tactical map. The bull case is pretty simple. This healthy rotation continues, NASDAQ defends its key support levels, and we see follow-through strength in U.S. auto and utility sectors. The bear case, this was all a false breakout, support breaches, and it's time to reduce risk and raise cash. For the bull case, this is the number. This is the line in the sand. The bulls absolutely must defend 19,850 on NASDAQ futures on a closing basis. If they hold it, it confirms the rotation is healthy and has legs. On the flip side, this is the trapdoor. If NASDAQ breaks below 19,800 with real conviction, it signals that today's move in Korea was just a bull trap. And if that happens, for me, all new long positions are off the table. Okay, final phase. Actionable intelligence. These are the specific assets I want you to monitor as the U.S. market opens. This is tonight's watch list. We're tracking the U.S. proxies for that Korean rotation we saw. We've got Tesla and GM in the automotive space, and then Vistra and Constellation Energy. These are pure plays on the rising demand for power that's being driven by all these AI data centers. And here it is. This is the single most important signal to watch tonight. In the first 30 minutes of trading, just watch the relationship between Tesla and Nvidia. If Tesla shows more strength, if it's outperforming Nvidia, that's your final confirmation. It means the great sector rotation we identified in Korea has officially gone global. Target acquired. See you at the open.